Hello, greetings. Can you hear me? Hello. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Oh, okay, great. Lovely to be speaking to all of you today. So basically, what I want to be sharing with you is like moving to Ghana. I know some people do have they have like interest, moving to Ghana. Like, what does it take? What does it entail? My name is Yawasari Mankata. I'm a co-founder of a Black travel organization known as ABB Kwanto. So what we do is that we provide like affordable, accessible, and culturally immersive trips to Black people out here. Moreover, I'm also an instructor, a tree instructor. So I teach the local language tree also to several platforms as well as like individuals across the African world. And I'm also like a research coordinator for an archive institute whereby we're doing research along the coast of Ghana, looking at people's relationship with water. So quite like multifaceted. But this information I'm bringing you also is because I worked with what's the name? I worked with Diaspora Affairs, so the office in charge of like coordinating everything African diaspora here in Ghana. I know that there are people who have been thinking about like moving, and there's not much information out there. So many people get taken advantage of or do not even know what it takes to make their stay here legal. First and foremost, I just want to say that I believe that everybody deserves to come to Africa and live, even if they want to just stay on trees. Like, it's for everybody. But however, moving here comes with its own like legal frameworks that we are supposed to know about and deal with. So first and foremost, if you are coming to Ghana, you are going to have to apply for a visa. The visa is going to be like a tourist visa unless, you have a job here that's like bringing you, then it's going to be like a work visa. But for the most part, it's going to be a tourist visa. And this normally comes as a shock to many people because they're like, oh yeah, the president said we should come home. There is a year of return, blah, blah, blah. So there should be like special circumstances. Unfortunately, the embassies of Ghana outside are not equipped to give like any special considerations to Africans in the diaspora willing to or heeding to the president's call. However, applying for a visa is very easy. All you need is either the name of like, somebody in Ghana or an organization, inviting you to Ghana. You are going to have to show probably like your plane tickets. It could be a one-way, no worries about that. Then you're just going to have to give like information of the person who is inviting you. So there are like, you could get like a one-time visa, which is a single entry visa, which only means that you could only come in once. And then when you leave, you have to apply for another visa. But what I recommend is like applying for a multiple entry visa, which would give you access to the country for a period of up to 5 years. So you can move in and out. The only thing about the multiple entry visa is that after every 90 days, you are supposed to leave the country and come back. How some people, that is if you do not have a residence permit. How some people like work around this is that after the period of 90 days, they'll just go to the neighboring country, Togo, and come back into Ghana. And that's always cheaper than having to fly all the way back to wherever you came from and come back. So now you have your visa, you've packed your bags. Coming to Ghana currently, if you are not a citizen or a foreign resident of Ghana, the country is demanding that you show proof of vaccination. All is that if you really want to come to Ghana, you'll figure a way around this. And since this is being recorded, I'm not going to, talk much about that. If you want to, and it's very easy to figure your way around, this mandatory vaccination for non-citizens and non-foreign residents. So let's say you get on the plane, you are here in Ghana. And the best way, if you are moving to Ghana, what I'd first recommend is that, come here and experience Ghana. Don't just stay in Accra, don't just stay in the cities, like move about, check out the Volta region, really beautiful, like waterfalls, greenery. You could go to Kumasi also, like a cultural hub also. Or you could also work your way to the middle part of the country, Brona Hafo region. It's got like lots of food, really cheap food. Or you could work up your way up north into the savanna landscape of the country, also really like beautiful people, as well as really beautiful landscapes. So I think we really have to start branching ourselves outside the capital Accra. But it makes sense that most people come and then, for want of comfort and whatnot, they're in Accra. But first of all, if you're moving to Ghana, come, the country first. And once, you're like, oh yeah, I really want to live here, getting citizenship is actually a hassle. If anybody tells you that, yo, I'm going to give you citizenship, like, it's probably likely a scam. And I'm saying this because I worked for the office in charge of like citizenship. We currently have 172 people as backlog waiting for citizenship, but I'll talk about citizenship later. For now, let me talk about like getting your resident permit. The easiest way to live in Ghana is to just get a resident permit. A resident permit means that like you are a resident of Ghana, foreign resident of Ghana. And this permit allows you to live in Ghana for a year. Then at the end of the whatever year, you just renew your resident permit. The process for getting a resident permit is very, very easy, but many people come to Ghana and then they go through all kinds of like middle people and end up paying way extraordinary prices. So the process of like getting your resident permit is basically, first and foremost, you need like 2 letters from 2 Ghanaians to act as guarantors. So what these 2 citizens would do is that they write letters saying that, yeah, they know such and such person, they are good character, and they are recommending them to be a resident of Ghana. So as guarantors also, these people are going to act as quote unquote your caretakers in the legal landscape. So if anything is to happen to you whilst you are here, the government is going to ask them if you are to break the law or do anything bad, the government is also going to hold them responsible. They would be, if you are to be deported from Ghana, they will be in charge of like, paying for your plane ticket for you to be deported from Ghana. So these 2 people are going to act as like, quote unquote, your parents whilst you are here, just in the legal scheme of things. So once they write you a letter, you also need to show proof of how you are going to fend for yourself in Ghana. So if you are saying that you're a resident, you're applying for a resident permit, it means that you cannot be saying that, oh, I'm doing this work, I'm hustling here, and then all you could do is like, if you have a bank account, it could be a bank account in the US, or wherever, you are coming from, and you show like there is like money inside of it from $1,000 upwards. Better still too, you could have friends back home write letters saying that during your stay here in Ghana, they will be supporting you like monthly. That also holds. And you would also need a letter from the Office of Diaspora Affairs. So the Office of Diaspora Affairs is inside the Jubilee House, which is the president's office. So you go into this office and let them know that you are an African from the diaspora and you've taken up the call by the president to say that, like Africans globally should return home via Ghana. So that's why you're here. So the Office of Diaspora Affairs is also going to write a letter, after you having a chat with the diaspora or whichever officer in charge. They're also going to write a letter supporting application, saying that such and such person is here because the president said, Africans in the diaspora should return home. And with all of these like letters and documents, you would also write an application letter stating why you want to be a resident in Ghana. And you are going to take this to the immigration office. The cost for doing this is just 300 cedis, which is about $30 to get your resident permit for the year. Some people unfortunately go on and they ask them to take like COVID test. Some people I've worked with in the past, they've not asked anybody to take COVID test, but some people go on and they ask them to take a COVID test, which is about like $20 or maybe less. But the cost for the application is just $30 or 300 cedis, and you put in your application. The application could take anywhere between 1 and 4 weeks, for you to get a response back that you've been given a resident permit. So what I would say is that if you are thinking of applying for residency in Ghana, don't wait till your visa is expiring before you start applying for residency. Like you have to apply for it like when you have some time on your visa. So yeah, once you have your resident permit, good luck, congrats, you are now a resident of Ghana. It's almost like being a citizen, but just that you cannot vote. And you just have to like, what do you call it? You have to renew your residency every year, but it's almost as good as being a citizen. Also, being a foreign resident also means that when you buy land, you can only lease it for 50 years, whereas citizens can lease it for 99 years. But all of this is changing, even whereby many areas are now making citizens also lease land for 50 years. So I'm saying all of this to say having a resident permit is almost as good as having citizenship. You can go in and out, come into the country whenever, and all of that. On citizenship is a really difficult terrain. To get citizens, there are a couple of ways to get citizenship in Ghana. One is like through adoption. And I'm seeing a question. So land isn't owned forever. No, you cannot own land forever unless, and this is really difficult, unless a family actually just, say for whatever reason and whatnot, we are making this person own land. Like it's called freehold. But that actually even doesn't happen now. Especially like if you're around the city, like you cannot get land for freehold, because what the government started realizing is like what is happening is like land is being leased off to so many people, and then in that case, like generations to come will not be able to benefit from it or whatnot. So you cannot own land forever currently if you are in and around the city. But if you have to go out of the city, towards the northern part of the country and whatnot, then you have the ability to own land forever. But these laws are changing quite drastically and quickly because there are so many people who are coming in, so many people interested in land. And people are also realizing that land is now a huge asset, and they have to, in a sense, also make the generations to come also benefit from it. So basically, when you lease the land for like 50 years, after 50 years, you are supposed to go to the land registry and, you pay something on it, which is then supposed to go to the family which leased the land so that, maybe generations who have come later can also get some benefits of the land. Yeah. But talking about citizenship, So yeah, you can get citizenship through adoption, but I know that many people are old. So, and through adoption, you have to be like 16 years or younger, so adopted by, people who are citizens in Ghana. So that's one way. The other way is like through naturalization. The way through naturalization is basically you come to live for a period of like no less than 5 years in Ghana. You're able to speak an indigenous language. You're of good character in the eyes of the legal framework. Yeah, those are like the main points. Then you can go to the Ministry of Interior and apply for citizenship. So that's one way, but few people like take that route. I don't know why. Then there is also like citizenship by way adoption, naturalization, and also like marriage. So you're married to somebody who is a citizen of Ghana. That also you'd have to, be married for at least like 5 years to be able to apply for citizenship. Yeah, but what happened as a result of, and not just the year of return, but a couple of 2 years before the year of return, we had one president from the previous government grant like 34 Africans in the diaspora citizenship. But this had happened in the 90s also, where we had another president like do same. Then in about 2016, another president granted like 34 Africans in the diaspora citizenship. Then in 2019, also, the current president of Ghana granted 126 Africans from the diaspora citizenship. Now, this has become the trend whereby, the president at their discretion can, grant a number of people citizenship. And I think this is what confuses people or make people think that, I can just come to Ghana and then eventually get citizenship. No, this is at the president's discretion. And currently what is happening is that there is a new law being drafted, to streamline this process. It's called the Homeland Return Act. So basically this new law is going to now take that discretion from the president and say that, you're an African from the diaspora and you meet this set of criteria, which is still like being discussed. It's with cabinet right now. When cabinet approves of the bill, it will now go to parliament, it will now become public. When it's public, they will call for members of the public to write like memos to address the bill, whether people are in support or where they could change, where they could go better and whatnot. So yeah, that's still in like the drafting stages. But currently what's happening is that the president at his own discretion, and that was in 2019. He did one in 2019, and there is a backlog of people who are actually waiting. It's been like 2 years. We're always getting calls like, when is this happening and all of that. So it's what is making people think that, when they come to Ghana, they'll get citizenship, but that's not the case. That is only under special circumstances when the president of the country is like, okay, I'm granting this number of people citizenship. So yeah, getting citizenship in Ghana can be, quite a hassle, but you just have to know like the rules, the laws and whatnot. And I'll say like, honestly, don't stress about it. Just go for a residence permit and you're as good. Just that you don't have a Ghana passport and whatnot, but you can do whatever you want in the country, go in, come out, and I know that citizenship is a goal, but these things do take time. And I would advise that anybody will actually be to be patient, else, you are likely going to get scammed. And this is happening to a lot of people coming from the diaspora. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also like available, if anybody wants to, get like just pick my brain on moving to Ghana. what's not, what they should do. I'm always also available if you need like invite letters to invite you to the country. You come to the country, I'd love to meet you, we talk. And then if you want letters for your residence permit or you need like guidance, available. So I leave my Instagram handles like inside of the chat, and then you can definitely DM me, and I would also leave my email as well. And you can always send me an email and we can get talking. But if there are any questions, I would also love to hear them. Thoughts, comments as well. Medasipi.
Hey, brother, I want to say thank you. Never been in Ghana, so I wanted to say thank you. I jumped on this call kind of late, but I definitely want to come, and I definitely I gotta do an ancestral test. I know that I might have some Nigerian in me or some Ghanaian in me, So, Repair Nations. I know some of my family is connected, and they just sent the chat to me, and I'm very interested in terms of the residency. I got my baby with me. I definitely to Africa. I've never been, so I just want I'm trying to tap in. So I just want to let you know that I'm not gonna hold you, but I want to say that I love you and I appreciate you, my brother, for real.
Yeah, thank you for the love. Ghana is beautiful. Like Ghana is honestly, what is happening in Ghana right now is a really beautiful time to be in Ghana, to witness it, like witness the connections happening, Africans on the continent, Africans in the diaspora. Like it's actually a really beautiful time to be here, to be watching it happen, to be a part of the story. And I would say we can only make it better. Yeah, so thank you. You're always welcome home. Yeah. There is a question, but Maria, do you want to ask your question, please? Yeah.
Yes. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. I did want to connect with my family. I'm not ready to come there. I just left the United States to go to Mexico, where I'm quite happy here. It's beautiful here. But I would like to connect with my family and eventually be able to go visit and what have you. And I know, like you said, there's ways to get around whatever. The reason why I didn't want to go in the first place being the vaccine, blah, blah, blah. But I do want to contact my family. I know like the prime minister of the Bahamas, the last prime minister, his great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother are sisters, and they were on the beach in Ashanti when it was all the way down to the coast, and they brought them to the Bahamas. So I'm trying to connect with my family there, and eventually, like 5-10 years from now, be able to go buy some land there. So I'd like to connect with them just to be able to correspond. Is there a way to find your family easily without getting the Ancestry.com DNA test? I'm scared of that.
To find your family, it's one, well, you'd have to know, like, is there...
Oh boy, it froze.
But yeah, to find your family, you
Yes.
are going to like town you're in. So that would be like an easy way to find, like the last name and then what town, and now we can go off from there.
Okay. Yeah. I know my family name in the Bahamas is Ingraham. So I don't know, that was the last prime minister of the Bahamas. He's like my 8th cousin or something. So Ingraham is the name, that name. So who would it be, you know, in
That would be hard. That would be, but yeah,
yeah.
that would be hard. But send me an email and we can talk more about that.
What is your
Yeah.
email, please?
I put it in the chat, yao.mankata@gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, that. Okay.
Mankata and Gmail. Yeah. And also there was a question about recommendations for elders looking to move. So basically there was a couple, you know, they are elders that we helped move out here, and it's been beautiful seeing, they are currently building their house. And it's been beautiful seeing the process from like 2019. They came for the first time. They were staying in a hotel, and I was like, yo, you know what? It would be best if you just like rent an apartment, you know, get to like not be under the guidance of a hotel. Like if you're living in a hotel in Ghana and you now move to an apartment and you get to like experience the power cuts, you are paying your bills and all of that, it's a whole new different experience. So I'll say recommendations for elders to move is like, first off, coming to Ghana. There is a cool place called Palace Africa. You know, you can rent an apartment there, even though it's quite expensive than what is on the market, but that's like a good starting place. And once you get an apartment, you know, you just have people you are connected with, they take you around and then feel for where, you know, you feel most connected at. And you just, you know, try and get some land and then put your own building. But I'll say for elders looking to move, definitely come and then check out like Palace Africa in Accra. It would provide you like a good community. It's a cultural center, also a residential space for Africans. Yeah. Mama Mia, you have a question as well.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for coming to talk with us. This is my little grandbaby. You didn't meet her yet. Sacred. And I wanted to find out, I know you're starting a new program. I don't know if you've talked about it yet. I might have missed it, but would love to hear about what you're building there in Northern Ghana.
Right. Thank you for asking. So thank you for asking about this. So basically, many people come to Ghana and then they stay in the south, in Accra, whatnot. So what we are looking to build is, you know, going to the upper east of Ghana, the northern part of Ghana, which are very less frequented, or people rarely go there, but has like really in-depth cultural stories, you know, like indigenous. If you want to see how we used to live, like indigenous living, you go, the more north you go, the more African it is. So there's a community I've been working with since 2014, very rural. They got electricity for the first time this year. And, you know, people live in houses made out of or built with earth. But unfortunately, the earth houses are gradually disappearing because associated with quote-unquote poverty. If we can mute ourselves. But anyways, so what we are looking to do is like we are building like residential spaces out there. And also we are building a library, you know, all made
for a trip to Liberia.
Louis, can you please mute yourself? Hello, Louise.
I was using this right here.
Hello.
For donations.
Yeah, so we are building these spaces all out of earth. And we are building a library also out of earth because we want to pair, you know, like learning with earth buildings, like make a positive association and not have it be like it's associated with poverty. So this place is also going to be like a creative hub, you know, a place where people could go stay, do like residencies, be a part of a community. And that's something I really enjoy, like, you know, many people come and then they like to be on their own. People to come and, you know, like be a part of a community. So that's what we're doing up north. building residential spaces as well as a library so that people could come, have a feel of what the northern part of the country is like. But we'll be having videos come out soon to share, also. Yeah. Do we have like any other questions? I'll go.